Hello class 8 students, my name is Priyanka Singh. I hope you all are keeping well. So today I am here to start with the unit 1, that is food. Chapter 1, crop production. So let's start this topic. The science that deals with the growth of plants and animals for human use is called agriculture. Agriculture is the world's largest and most important industry. It is thought to have begun 10,000 years ago. Before that, man was a wandering food gatherer and hunted animals for food. Then he discovered that by planting seeds, he could grow plants that gave him food. This was the beginning of crop production. Man no longer had to wander around for food. He became a farmer and settled in farming communities. He also started domesticating animals for food and other purposes. So, this is a picture which is showing modern agriculture is carried out in a scientific and systematic way. If we summarize it, it means the modern technology which we use nowadays for agriculture. Today, nearly half of the world's workforce is employed in growing crops or looking after farm animals. At 70%, this percentage is even higher in India. However, agriculture changed very slowly until about 100 years ago. Since then, there have been tremendous advances in developing new varieties of plants and animals, in the use of fertilizers and pesticides, and in using machines such as tractors and harvesters. This had led to better crops and higher yields. In India, this agricultural revolution, or green revolution as we call it, began in 1960. As a result, production of food grains has increased several fold. Crop plants. The plants grown in large quantities in a field are called crop plants. The product of cultivated plants is called crop for produce. The crop product may be in the form of grains, roots, fiber, etc. We get different kinds of food products such as cereals, fruits, and vegetables from crops. Cereals. They have nutritious seeds of crops that are mainly rich in starch and fiber. Some of them are good sources of proteins, vitamins, and minerals. Example: rice, wheat, maize, jawar, and bajra. Fruit. A fruit is a seed-bearing ripened ovary of a flowering plant. Example: apple, mango, cherries, and orange. Vegetable. It is any nutritious plant product eaten as food. For example, potato, spinach, carrot, onion, etc. Types of crops. There are two main types of crops grown in India. They are kharif crops. These crops are grown in the rainy season between June and October. And the examples of kharif crops are rice, maize, groundnut, cotton, soya bean. These all pictures are the kharif crop examples. Kharif crops are sown at the beginning of monsoon season, June, July, and harvested at the end of the monsoon, September, October. For example, rice, maize, cotton, soya bean, groundnut, pulses, etc. as we seen above. Rabi crops. The crops grown in the winter season are called Rabi crops. They are grown between October and March to April. Rabi crops are sown in the beginning of winter, October to November, and harvested in March to April. Example: wheat, gram, pea, mustard, barley, potato. These pictures are the examples of Rabi crops. Now, There are many crops grown in India. These are crops and examples. Cereals, rice, wheat, maize, barley, sorghum. Next is fiber crops. Jute, cotton, hemp. Pulses, gram, peas, beans, soya bean, groundnut. Oil seeds, mustard, groundnut, sesame, sunflower. Root crops, sweet potato, beetroot, colocasia, yam. Tuber crops, potato, ginger, tapioca. Sugar crops, sugarcane, beetroot. Plantation crops, rubber, coconut, palm tree. Medicinal crops, tulsi, aloe vera, neem, datura, rovolfia. Spices, cardamom, black pepper, chili. Beverages, tea, coffee, cocoa. Modified stem, potato, ginger, turmeric. Decorative plants, rose, croton, petunia, bougainvillea, marigold. Flowering plants, jasmine, china rose, night queen. Horticulture crops, vegetable fruits and flowers, if grown on a large scale, are called horticultural crops. Hortus means garden and culture means cultivation. Agricultural practices, the science of cultivation of crops on a large scale to provide food, is called agriculture. It involves a series of activities which are known as agricultural practices. Preparation of soil, selection and sowing of seeds, irrigation, crop protection, harvesting and storage are the main agriculture practices. They are carried out using tools called agriculture implements. Student, this is the chart which is showing agricultural practices. In this chart, 5 types of agricultural practices has shown. So, the first one is soil preparation. In soil preparation, it is plowing, leveling and manuring. Next one is selection and sowing of seeds. On third number, it is irrigation. Fourth, weeding and crop protection. Fifth one is harvesting and storage. Horticultural crops. Crops and examples. Vegetables, potato, tomato, cabbage, spinach, onion, radish. Fruits, orange, banana, grapes, guava, apples, mango, papaya. Decorative, crotons, cactus, bougainvillea. Flowers, rose, jasmine, marigold, balsam. A field needs to be managed properly to sow good crops. Certain conditions are very important to increase the quantity as well as quality of the crops. Some of these conditions are the kind of soil, seeds, water and agricultural practices and protection from pests, seeds and pathogens. Crop production involves systematic use of some basic practices. These are called agricultural practices. Some of these are described below. Selection of field is very important. The crop field should be open so that sunlight and air are abundantly available. The field should be protected from animals. Soil preparation by plowing, leveling and manuring. Selection of seeds, sowing by using a seed drill or by transplantation of seedlings. Application of manures, fertilizers and irrigation so that right amount of water is available for the proper growth of plants. Unwanted plants such as weeds should be uprooted from the soil. These weeds compete with the main crops for nutrients and deprive them of their nourishment. Irrigation. Crop protection, control of pest and plant diseases by using pesticides. Harvesting by using a sickle or a mechanical harvester. Threshing and winnowing. Storage of fruit grains. An extra mile. Paddy requires a lot of water. Therefore, it is grown only in the rainy season. Let us now learn about the steps involved in the crop production in detail. The first one is soil preparation. Soil acts as a medium for the germination of seeds and the growth of crops. It provides water and minerals to plants. The plant's growth depends on the soil fertility. The first step in the preparation of soil involves loosening and turning it by the process of tilling or plowing. Loosening. Loosening of the soil is important because the loosened soil allows the roots to penetrate deeper with ease. The roots in turn anchor the plants more firmly in the soil. It helps in the aeration of soil, allowing the roots to breathe easily even when they are deep. Loosening of soil helps in removing weeds and other undesirable plants in the field. Loosening of soil helps in mixing of fertilizers uniformly. Loosening of soil helps in enhancing the water retaining capacity. Loose soil retains moisture for a longer duration. This is the picture of soil loosening. Plowing. Plowing is done either manually or by using animals. Now, plowing is done by using tractors. Plowed field may have big pieces of soil called crumbs. It is necessary to break these crumbs with a plank. Soil loosening. Agricultural implements. Before sowing the seeds, the soil is made porous for better productivity. For plowing, main tools are plow. Plow has been in use in agriculture since ancient time for tilling, removing weeds and scraping of soil. It is made up of wood and had a strong triangular iron strip called plowshare. There is a long shaft of wood called plow shaft, which has handle at one end. The other end of the shaft is attached to a beam which is hung on the bull's neck. This plow can be easily operated by a single man. Nowadays, wooden plows are replaced by iron plows. It is used for tilling the soil, removing weeds, scraping the soil, etc. These are the two pictures which is showing wooden plow and iron plow. Hoe. It is a simple tool and consisted for a long rod of wood or iron in which a bent plate of iron is fixed to one of its end. It is used for loosening the soil and for removing weeds. This is the picture which is showing different types of hoes used in agriculture. Now, cultivator. Large fields are plowed with the help of tractors. Tractors are motor vehicles with heavy tread tires. This helps to save time and labor. This is the tractor which used for cultivation. Leveling. Plowed soil may have big pieces of soil called crumbs. These need to be crushed with the help of wooden plank or soil leveler. Leveling is done mainly to level the plowed land. Protects upper layer of the soil from erosion by wind or water. Prevents waterlogging and promotes uniform irrigation. These pictures are showing the different types of agricultural levelers. Activity. Take two 250 ml beakers filled with equal volume of the same type of soil. Plant 2 bean seeds at a depth of 2 cm in the first beaker. Plant 2 bean seed at a depth of 5 cm in the second beaker. Look at figure. Place the beaker at the same place and water the seeds with equal volume of water and observe. Find the beaker in which the seeds sprout first. Discuss the reason with your friends. Effects of depth of sowing on seeds. Manuring. Mixing soil with manure is called manuring. Manure is an organic substance obtained from plant or animal wastes such as cow dung, urine, plant parts, vegetable or fruit peels, right soil and similar other organic wastes. Every crop needs certain specific nutrients for its growth. Continuous growing of the same crop in a field makes the soil deficient in certain nutrients. These nutrients need to be replenished, otherwise the soil becomes barren and incapable of supporting further plant growth. Manure is formed by dumping the wastes at open places and allowing them to decompose. The decomposition is helped by organisms like bacteria and fungi. The decomposed material is used as manure. This is the picture of manuring in a farm. Selection of seeds and sowing. Plants grow from seeds. Hence, selection of good quality, healthy seeds become an important part of crop production. After the selection of seeds, care must be taken while sowing them. There are two methods of sowing. Broadcasting. Seeds are sown manually by directly sprinkling them into the soil. Seeds scattered in this manner are unevenly distributed in the field. Using seed drills. A seed drill has a long pipe with a funnel at the end. It is tied to the backside of a plow. The plow makes furrows in the field and the seed drills releases seeds in the furrows through the pipe. Seeds sown with the seed drill are evenly distributed. Care must be taken to prevent it from rusting. These are the two pictures in which first picture is showing broadcasting of seeds manually and the second picture is showing tractor drawn seed drill. The important points to be remembered during sowing are the following. Seeds should be healthy and of good quality. Seeds should be sown at appropriate distance from one another to avoid overcrowding. Overcrowding may result in competition for nutrient and sunlight among the plants. Seeds should be sown at the correct depth, neither too shallow nor too deep. Seeds must be sown in proper season. The seeds must be sown in proper rows so that watering them or transplanting them is easy. Soil must be prepared well so that it has adequate moisture content for the germination of seeds. Transplantation. For certain crops such as rice, paddy, tomato, onion, chili, etc., seeds are not directly sown in the main field. They are first sown in a small bed called nursery. When the seedling new plant have 4-5 leaves, then healthy seedlings are transferred into the main field. The process of shifting seedlings from the nursery to the main field is called transplantation. Transplantation method has the following advantages. Transplantation provides the opportunity to select healthy seedlings for cultivation. This results in better crop production. Transplantation permits better root penetration into the soil. Transplantation allows better shoot development. This picture is showing the example of transplantation. Irrigation. As you are aware that plants need water for their growth and for the preparation of food. This is the reason why gardeners supply water to the plants regularly. Seeds need water to germinate. Plants need water to draw nutrients from the soil for their growth and for making food by photosynthesis. Sources of water for crops. Rainfall is the main source of water for crops. Since rainfall is not always dependable, other ways of supplying water needs to be devised. These are rivers, reservoirs, lakes, ponds, wells and tube wells. From these, water is either pumped by using electric or diesel pump or delivered via irrigation canals. Irrigations refer to the artificial watering of crops. The traditional methods of irrigation are moat, pulley system, chain pump, dhekli and rahat, lever system. Cattle or human labor is used in these methods. These methods are cheaper but less efficient. These are the pictures of sources of water for irrigation. Modern methods of irrigation. It is important to use water economically, and modern methods of irrigation help in doing so. Sprinkler system. This method is used in water-scarce areas such as deserts or in the areas of less or uneven rainfall. It consists of a main pipe to which are attached many pipes in a series. These perpendicular pipes have nozzles at right angle. Water is flown through the main pipe with the help of a pump. Water enters with the attached pipes and comes out in the form of sprinkles through the nozzles. It sprinkles water on the crop like rain. Drip system. This technique is used for watering fruit plants, gardens and trees. The drip system has a water pump attached to the main pipe, which further has lateral pipe attached to it. These lateral pipes have small nozzles located just near the roots of the plant. When water flows through the system, it falls drop by drop at the position of the roots. This is used in areas where water is not available in large quantities. Waterlogging. When excess amount of water is given to the soil, it becomes wet. Water accumulates around the plant. This is called excessive irrigation or waterlogging. Excessive irrigation is harmful to the crop in the following ways. Excess of water and wet soil do not permit proper aeration of the seed root of the plant. Waterlogging increases the amount of salts in the soil and damages soil fertility. Thus, fields are also influenced by excess amount of water, so they need to be irrigated with just the right amount of water. Irrigation of fields is also influenced by the type of soil. Sandy soil needs more water because of fast percolation and less water retaining capacity. Clay soils or black soil has more water retaining capacity and thus require less water. Therefore, these soils have more chances of waterlogging than the sandy soil. An extra mile. Major parts of the rainwater dwelling monsoons run off to the sea. If this water is collected in storage tanks or reservoirs, we can use this water for irrigation purposes during dry season. In India, only 18% of cultivable land is fully irrigated and 24% is partially irrigated. The remaining 58% of the land depends upon the rains, particularly on monsoon. Application of fertilizers and manures. The upper layer of the soil is rich in various nutrients. Plants need nutrients for their growth. They get these nutrients from the soil. Soil fertility is a measure of a land capacity which sufficiently provides the nutrients that are needed to grow crops. Fertilizers are man-made inorganic compounds or a mixture of compounds which supplies particular nutrients to the soil. Some examples of fertilizers are urea, potash, NPK, that is nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, ammonium sulfate, superphosphate of lime, CAN, that is calcium, ammonium nitrate, etc. Fertilizers have the following advantages. Fertilizers provide specific nutrients to the soil, that is, fertilizers are crop specific. Fertilizers can be easily stored and handled. Fertilizers are concentrated source of soil nutrients. Fertilizers are easily absorbed by the plants as they are soluble in water. However, the use of fertilizers has helped farmers to get better yield of crops such as wheat, paddy and maize. But excessive use of fertilizers has made the soil less fertile. They are also a source of water pollution. Natural and organic fertilizers like manure are also helpful in increasing plant growth. As we have already described, manure is rich in humus, organic matter, and it has the following advantages. Manures improve soil texture. It increases the number of friendly microbes. Manure improves the water holding capacity of the soil. Exchange of gases is easily done due to porosity of soil. Now, this is the table showing the difference between manures and fertilizer. First, manure is a natural substance formed by decomposition of wastes. Fertilizers are salts or inorganic compounds. Natural methods. Beside the supply of nutrients artificially, there are some natural methods also that help in retaining the lost nutrients in the soil. These are field fallow. In this process, the field is left uncultivated for one or more seasons. This helps in replenishing the lost nutrients naturally because during this time, dead plants, animals, and other organic matter get collected on the field. These collected matters get decomposed by microorganisms. In this way, nutrients return to the soil. Mixed cropping. The process of growing two or more crops simultaneously on the same piece of field is known as mixed cropping. Farmers mix the seeds of two crops and sow in the field. These crops helps in the growth of each other by maintaining nutrients in the soil. For example, if cereal crop like wheat is grown along with leguminous crops such as pulses, example gram, then the utilization of nitrogen from the soil by the wheat is compensated by the addition of nitrogen in the soil by the rhizobium bacteria living in the roots of legume. As this bacteria fixes nitrogen, this has two advantages. First one is the fertility of soil is increased. Second one is ultimately yield of the crop is improved. Crop rotation. The process of growing a crop in two similar farms such as to grow legumes and wheat alternatively, this helps in replenishing the soil with nutrients. Advantages of crop rotation. It maintains the soil fertility. It gives better yields. It prevents crop diseases and pests. Weeding. Weeds are unwanted, uncultivated plants or pests which grow along with the cultivated plants on their own. There is a variety of weeds that grow with different plants. For example, these are the pictures of Parthenium, Amaranthus, Chenopodium and wild oat. These are the different types of weeds. Removing weeds. The process of removing weeds from a field is called weeding. Weeding can be done by any one of the following methods. Manual removal. The weed can be removed manually by pulling or cutting them close to the ground from time to time. This is a picture of manual removal by using a towel, khurpa or a harrow. Weeding should be done carefully as it may damage the main crop plants. The removed weed dry up, get decomposed and mixed up with the soil. These are the pictures of manual removal, trowel and harrow. Use of herbicides. Any agent or a chemical substance that destroys weeds and helps control their growth is called a herbicide or weedicide. These are sprayed in a field with a special apparatus. Weedicides do not harm the crops. They selectively kill the weeds. Weedicides are diluted with water. The amount of dilution depends upon the crop for which they are decided to be sprayed. But spraying should be done with precautions. The main disadvantages of herbicides are accidental contact with these chemicals can lead to choking and irrigation in the eyes, nose and throat. If the crops are not washed, they may enter the food chain and can cause harm to the consumers. For example, dolphin, metaphor and cyniazin. Biological methods. Some insects that feed on specific weeds are also used to control weeds. They are safer than weedicides. For example, cochineal insects are used to control the growth of the weed Opuntia. Nowadays, herbicides based on natural biological agents, example, bacteria, viruses, fungi, etc., called bioherbicides, are also being used to eliminate weeds. Crop protection. Saving crops from the harmful effects of small animals and diseases causing organisms is termed as crop protection. Crops are to be protected from stray animals, birds who eat and destroy grains of standing crops, insects who are the greatest enemies of crops. They damage not only the standing crops but also the stored grains. Rats who also damage and consume large portion of crop. Crops can get infected by microorganisms such as bacteria, viruses and fungi. Rust and smut are fungal diseases of wheat. Blight of potatoes is a fungal disease. Wilt is a disease caused by bacteria. Blast is a disease of rice crop caused by an insect called gundhi bug. Organisms that cause diseases to the plants are called pathogens. The organisms that damage or destroy the crops are known as pests. Some of the pests are locust, bollworm of cotton and stem borer. The methods used to protect the crops from the pathogens and pests are: crops can be protected from stray animals by putting up a fence or mud wall around the field. Birds can be scared off by beating of drums and installing scarecrows. A scarecrow is an image or an effigy in a shape of a human being that is placed in the fields to frighten away birds. Various poisonous chemicals are used to kill the pest in a field. They are called pesticides. These include rodenticides. They are used to kill rodents such as rats. Insecticides. They are used to kill eggs, larvae and adults of the insects. Some of the pesticides are DPT, BHC and malathion. They are either sprayed by the hand-operated machines or by the low-flying aircraft. Precautions to be taken while using pesticides are: keep your nose and mouth covered and cover hand with gloves. While spraying, position in such a way that the wind blows away from your face. Air should blow from backside. After spraying, immediately wash your hands, face and mouth with clean water. Crops should be washed thoroughly before using. This may clean any pesticide left on them. Harvesting. The process of cutting and gathering of a matured crop is termed as harvesting. Harvesting can be done by the following methods. Harvesting may be done with the sickle by hand. The tractor-driven machines called harvesters are also used for harvesting wheat and rice. Fruits and vegetables are plucked by hand. So students, these are the pictures showing the methods of harvesting. Sickle, harvester, manual harvesting. The harvested grain is called crop field or crop produce. The process of separating grains from the harvested crop is called threshing. Threshing can be done in the following ways. Threshing is done either by hand or by using animals such as bullocks or camels. The harvested crops is spread on the ground and the camel and the bullocks are made to walk over them again and again. This leads to separation of grains from the chaff. A machine called thresher is also used for separating the grains. These two pictures are showing thresher and the combiner. Harvesting and threshing can be done simultaneously with the help of a machine called combiner. Winnowing. The grain separation from the chaff is carried out by the process of winnowing. Chaff is the material consisting of seed coverings and small pieces of stem or leaves that have been separated from the seeds. Winnowing is done with the help of wind. The mixture of chaff and grains are dropped from the height. Chaff, being lighter, is blown away by the wind to some distance, while the grain falls straight on the ground because of gravity. After the grain is separated, the stem of the crops is cut into pieces and dried. This is called hay and is fed to the cattle. This food for the cattle is known as fodder. And this is the picture of winnowing. Now, storage of crops. Harvested crops normally contain more moisture than required for storage. The excess of the moisture is removed by drying the food grains throughout the year, and at every place in the country, these are kept in storage. The growth of microorganisms on the grain is promoted at optimum levels of moisture, humidity and temperature. So, if the grain are kept below these optimum levels, they can be prevented from getting spoiled by microorganisms. Care must be taken that the grains are kept away from moisture, safe from rain, protected from pests and birds, in airtight godowns. On the domestic level, food grains are stored in small containers made of metal or mud or clay. On commercial scale, food grains are stored either in gunny bags or in grain silos. So, this picture is showing the storage of crops. These are the grain bins and the other one is grain silos. The gunny bags filled with the food grains are stacked in a large godown about 60 to 70 centimeter away from the walls and on wooden platform about 10 to 15 centimeter above the ground. Pathways called alleys are left in between the stacks for fumigation, and then it is stored in grain silos. Grain silos are specially designed long cylinders. These silos can store different stock of food grain at different levels. Crop improvement. As our population is increasing day by day, it is necessary to improve both the quality and quantity of crops. The tremendous increase in the production of food grains during 1960 to 1980 period is known as Green Revolution. The main factors which increase the crop production are use of improved seeds or crops developed by plant breeding, soil fertility improvement by using manures or fertilizers, protection of plants from pests by using pesticides, plant diseases control, better storage facilities, plant breeding. Scientists have used plant breeding method for developing new varieties of seeds. The plant breeding is known as hybridization. These new varieties of plants can resist plant disease more effectively and produce more food grains. The new varieties produced by plant breeding are known as high-yielding varieties or hybrid varieties. Some of the high-yielding varieties of crops. So, this table is showing type of crop and the high-yield variety of crops. The first one is wheat. Sonalika, Sonara 64, Hira, Moti, Sarbati, UP 301, Arjun, Kalyan Sona. So, these are the types of wheat. Rice, Jaya, Padma, Pusa 205 and IR 8. Maize, Ganga, Rankit, Deccan. High-yielding varieties are produced by crossbreeding. Two plants with different desired features are taken as parent plant. The crossbreeding between them results in the production of new plants with desired features. An extra mile. Dr. Norman Borlaug is known as the father of Green Revolution, and he is the one who developed the high-yielding Mexican variety of wheat. Food from animals. Animals are useful as they provide us certain food products. Taming animals or the rearing of animal on a large scale is known as animal husbandry. These animals are grouped into dairy animals or milch animals. Animals that produce milk and give us milk, a rich source of protein, vitamins and minerals, are called milch animals. For example, cow, buffalo, goat and sheep. Some high milk yielding cattle are cow, Jersey, currant Swiss, currant fries, Sachival, Friswall, Holstein Friesian, buffalo, Mura, Mehsana, Surti, Neeli, Jafarabadi. Poultry. Poultry includes birds like chicken, hen, ducks, turkey, etc. These provide us protein in the form of eggs and meat. Rearing and breeding of poultry for eggs and meat is called poultry farming. Birds that are reared for meat are called broilers. Fish. Fish and seafood is rich in proteins and iodine. Fish is the major part of food of people living in the coastal area. Some fish breed in seawater and called are marine fish. These are the two types of fishes which is showing in the picture. The first one is salmon and the other one is rohu. For example, hilsa, Bombay duck salmon, cod, catfish, etc. fishes that breed in water bodies such as ponds, rivers, lakes are called freshwater fishes. For example, katla, lebio, rohu, mali, tirika, etc. The production of fish on a large scale is called pisciculture. Honeybees. The rearing of honeybees on a large scale is called apiculture. Honeybees produce honey. Honey is rich in sugars, minerals and enzymes. Honey is produced by honeybee from the nectar of flowers and kept in beehive. All activities such as laying of eggs, rearing of larvae and pupae take place in combs. Honey is such a valuable product that is used in Ayurvedic medicines. Life cycle of honeybee lasts 16 days through 4 stages. Honey is extracted from the beehives in which bees live. Beehive has smart compartments like combs, where they store the honey. Honey is extracted by an experienced group of people known as honey extractors. Nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen is an important constituent of proteins, the building foods, and the nucleic acid, the carriers of the genetic information from one generation to the next. However, though required for growth and development, most living organisms cannot utilize it directly despite its 78% presence in air by volume. It has first to be transformed into nitrogen-rich compounds. The different ways used to fix nitrogen in gaseous state back into the atmosphere on decomposition of nitrogenous compounds make up the global nitrogen cycle. This is the picture of a nitrogen cycle. The nitrogen cycle involves 3 steps: nitrogen fixation, nitrification, denitrification. The nitrogen fixation involves the fixing of the atmospheric nitrogen into simple nitrogen compounds such as ammonia, oxides of nitrogen by the action of atmospheric factors such as lighting, or by simple living organisms such as free-living nitrogen-fixing bacteria. During lightning, nitrogen combines with oxygen to form nitric oxide. Nitrogen combines with hydrogen to form ammonia. Nitrogen fixation also occurs in the root nodules of leguminous plants pulses by the bacteria living symbiotically in them. The nitrification by bacterial action helps transform these simple nitrogenous compounds into nitrate that plants use to synthesize proteins. Animals depend on plant proteins to meet their protein requirements. When these proteins and other nitrogenous products are released as excretory products, they undergo either decomposition or denitrification. Decomposition replenishes the soil with simple nitrogen compounds, whereas denitrification results in the release of nitrogen in gaseous state back into the atmosphere. This is the picture showing the root nodules of a leguminous plant contain nitrogen-fixing bacteria. So students, it's time for Reader's Digest. Plants which are raised by agriculture are chief source of food. Crop production involves systematic use of some basic agricultural practices. Before growing a crop, soil is turned and loosened to facilitate healthy growth of plant. Plowing of a field can be done manually with the help of animals or by cultivators. Selection of seeds must be done carefully because seeds of high quality will give food crops. High-yielding quality seeds are resistant to disease. The nutrients to the soil are replenished by adding manures, fertilizers or by biological methods such as field fallow, mixed cropping, and the last one is crop rotation. The fields are irrigated by supplying enough quantity of water through different water sources and methods. When the seeds germinate into small seedlings, they need to be protected from the pathogens and pests by using pesticides or insecticides. So students, it's time to take your leave. Now we'll meet in the next class. Bye.